Welcome to Talking Trash, and today we're at the Perham Resource Recovery Facility. Again, I have Zach Fiestad from Otter Tail County Solid Waste. And Jack, where are we?
We are in the control room of the Resource Recovery Facility, and this is kind of where everything happens, where the garbage gets picked up. There's an operator behind me here, and what he's doing is he's picking up the garbage and he's putting it into the pit. And it's just a big claw. It's every probably gamer's dream to sit in the chair that he does, because he just uses joysticks to move the crane outside. And then there's a lot of other things that happen in here too. This is where everything gets monitored. So we have cameras on everything, so you can see what's going on in the pit. You can see what's going on inside the combustion chambers. If something goes wrong, temperatures get wrong, things like that, alarms will be sounded, and that all happens in this room, so then it can be addressed. And then we also have a lot of monitoring equipment for the emissions that are going out. So we're under very strict rules by the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency as far as the things that we're releasing into the air. So with this expansion that we're doing, we've done a lot of things to minimize what we're releasing into the air. I mean, we're going above and beyond what the PCA requires, just to make sure that in the Perham area we're not letting all these pollutants go into the air. We want to minimize that to very little.
And that's just for everybody's safety. So now the pile that's back here, the pit, is that before process or after process? After it's gone through? This is after the process, correct?
Correct, and that's once we're fully operational in 2014, everything or most of the garbage behind us is going to be municipal solid waste that's been processed. That's gone through the MRF, and we've talked about that in a couple of our earlier episodes. But that's where it's gone through that process, where it's been sorted. All the undesirables have been picked out of here. So what he's going to be picking up with this crane is going to be very conducive to burning. And what that's going to do is it's going to just make the equipment that we have inside the combustion units last a lot longer. It's going to give it some longevity, because that's very expensive to replace, and as we're trying to minimize costs there. So,
and I have a question for you. I have a lot of people ask me, well, how is it different if let's say you burn in a burn barrel, which is illegal in Minnesota, and we don't want people to do that, but what's the difference between a burn barrel and a municipal type facility like this?
There's two big components of it. The first thing is, when we burn here, we burn very hot. If you have a burn barrel in your backyard, it doesn't get very hot. So the burning that happens here is much more complete. You're left with very little at the end. Whereas in the back of a burn barrel, you didn't necessarily get through everything, and a lot of stuff's left over. The second thing is we have state-of-the-art filtering systems. And I'm not going to go into details and all that, but the stack that we have here, it removes all the pollutants. I mean, they just figured out ways with like a lime silo and things like that to remove, the poisonous, toxic chemicals that happens with burning. And that's a big problem with garbage today, is there's so much plastic, so many materials that just, when you burn them, they release toxins, because what's plastic made out of? Made out of petroleum. So what happens when you burn petroleum? It's dirty. There's a lot of toxins. So that's kind of the big deal. We're able to burn it, and we're able to remove the problem chemical or toxins and pollutants and things like that. And then we do a much more complete burn. And we reduce the amount of garbage by 90% by volume when we burn here.
And so using we're sending your household garbage to an incinerator, to a resource recovery facility. Such as this is much better. They say that its burn barrel is about 550 degrees and an incinerator is about 2200 degrees. Much more complete burn, much better for us as human beings in this community. And so we want to make sure that we deal with the waste in an appropriate manner. So thanks, and have a great week.